Hello everyone, I am Creature Keeper. I am here in the Hollow with all of my creatures, over 900 of them. And I am here with Bree by the Sea, as most of you know. She is going to interview me, ask me some questions about my channel and about my collection, and take it away.
Hello, Creature Keeper. How are we doing today?
Great. I am doing wonderful.
Good. Any new updates on the world of the Hollow so far?
Well, we just got about 35 new figures as of today. So we're about 940, give or take, figures now.
Alright, well, we'll get to that later.
Oh,
First question I want to ask is, how did you get started with this? How long ago did you start?
So 2.5 years. May 3rd was my very first video. To be honest, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into, but you know, I had got over 300 views on the first video and realized I had something, could have something going, and kept coming out with videos, and it just took off. And how I got started was I really loved doing, character voices. I'm much better at doing ones that I come up with, and I love animals. I love dragons, and grew up with several animal figures in my young life, and actually still have most of them here in the collection. And I really wanted to put a positive vibe out into the world and give kids something fun to watch, and not have to worry about what's going on out there in the world, and give them a way to use their own imaginations, because imagination is going away in this world, and that's one of our biggest God-given talents, gifts. So I'm really trying to preserve that.
So there's a follow-up question to that. Why is it so important to keep creativity and imagination alive?
Yeah, I really think without creativity, without imagination, I don't even want to know how boring life would get. Without it, you really, if you have a story to tell, you really should be able to tell that story in a way that people are like, wow, I want to live in that world, or I want to meet that character. And they have an amazing imagination, and it gives them hope to come up with their own stories and use their own imagination for these things. So I think that's really why it's important, because growing up in the 90s, kids could go outside and play in the yard, play in the streets, and just do whatever they want, and I would go out into the backyard and pretend I was fighting imaginary bad guys in the yard, and saving my sisters, and and imagination is where a lot of things have been made, like Disney, Zelda, Mario, Pixar, all these different things came from imagination. J.K. Rowling, she couldn't have come up with all these things by herself. But she did. She did. Yeah.
So, how do you think that your sisters or your nieces and nephews view your creature keeper habits, so to speak?
Yeah, so every time they come in here, especially the kids, their jaws just hit the floor, and they're immediately like, okay, I want to use that character, I want to use that character, that dragon, or that gorilla. And it's just amazing to watch their eyes light up every time they walk in here. And so it brings me joy in a way that is not just like, this is not just for me, it's for anybody, any kid or any grown up who wants to stay a kid, to walk in here and say, hey, we could do a story with these. And so my sisters, every time I tell them, oh yeah, I just got one new one, oh that's so cool, oh I just got 20 more, they're like, all right, cool, what are you up to now? Are you at 1,000 yet? I think they're all like, that's really cool, but you are insane. I probably am. But no, my nieces and nephews, and that's the other reason why I want to give this to kids, is because they're gonna grow up. They're gonna grow up and get into the real world, and hopefully not lose their imaginations. So that's why I want to bring them in here as much as I can, and just let their imaginations run wild.
Okay. So my next question is, why do you do YouTube rather than just keeping it in the family or keeping it with your friends?
Right. I don't have a lot of friends who have, time to experience, this and sit down and have, do stories and just fun, random videos. And I'll go over to my sister's houses and play with the kids. I'll bring a whole bunch of different figures from around, and we'll just make 20 videos for a day or two. But, YouTube has given me a means to reach everybody. If I can reach one person and they say, oh, that was amazing, I want to use my imagination, I didn't know I could do something like that. And I'm 35 years old, but at the same time, I'm the biggest kid you're ever going to meet, so I have not lost my imagination at all.
No, you haven't.
And we've known each other for a long time, so she knows that.
I do. So the next question I have is, it makes me think of Mrs. Doubtfire. When Robin Williams is playing with the animals on the set of the show that he is working at.
Yeah.
Do you ever hope to be anywhere near that realm?
One of my biggest dreams for the longest time, I don't know if obviously we were not alive in the 1800s when they would have those traveling storytellers come in those wagons and do puppet shows or just different stories for a group of people that would sit down in the grass and just, for a beautiful afternoon. That's what I would love to be. Is a storyteller traveling around with as many of these as possible and just ask the kids and the audience, hey, what story do you want me to tell, or what figures do you want me to use today? I want to leave it up to them, but at the same time, oh, that's cool, yeah, you want me to use the jaguar? Well, I'll use I'll use a shark too. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I would love to be a traveling storyteller. That's I would also love to be an actual voice actor for Disney or Pixar or DreamWorks.
Films,
yeah. So I've been told that I have an absolute talent. Oh man, why aren't you in Hollywood? Why hasn't DreamWorks or any of them contacted you? I don't know. I'm asking myself the same thing.
Well, they don't know. Like, your channel is still pretty small compared to a lot of
Yeah,
famous people.
yeah, and I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I'm almost there. I've got 915 ish right now, and that's another dream, is to be able to turn this into a job, not just a hobby, but turn this into a job where I can get paid and use that to grow this collection and, you know, grow the room, get more shelves, grow the collection even more, and just let kids come in and just play.
So you mentioned kids and your nieces and nephews. Do you ever invite people to join you on this adventure?
Yeah, so if you watch a lot of my videos, a lot of them have my nieces, and a couple of them have my nephews doing their own voices, making up their own stories, and a couple of them have been absolutely, like, I never would have thought of that myself. You know, I'm 35, but they're 10, 11, 12, 13, and they're coming up with ideas that I never would have thought of. So, yeah, oh yeah, I love anybody to come in here, not just my nieces and nephews.
Would you ever, like, when you get to that point of, like, monetizing your channel and having it be a bigger thing than what it is now, would you ever, like, hire people to, like, do, like, photography, videography?
Yeah.
Story making up stuff? Or would you prefer to just do it all on your own?
I mean, in a way, I'd like to do it all on my own, but at the same time, like, I'm going to try and make this make sense, but I'm never going to make this make sense. Let's say I'm making a video or doing a live stream, and I've got somebody behind the scenes, like maybe somebody makes a comment that I don't see, and they say, oh, hey, somebody said this, or somebody asked that. Then I could actually respond, because I might be responding to somebody else, you know, or trying to find a figure that somebody wanted to see. So just using, in a way, that would be a really good position for me to have for somebody, you know, to say, hey, or if I just want to sit here and somebody says, hey, can I see one of your tigers? Well, my tigers are way over there. Hey, could you go get one of my tigers for me? Doesn't matter which one. Or, you know, one of my bears or one of my wolves. You know, then I can just stay here and I don't have to always move around too much. But yeah, just having somebody be able to help out with that, I think, would be good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to see a crocodile. Alright, I'll go get the crocodile. I don't mind doing that. But it'd be nice for me to just stay in one spot and have somebody, you know, hey, could you give me that crocodile? Could you give me that night fury? Or, you know.
And the reason I ask is that, like, you know, all these ideas come from your head, but like someone else could have another idea for a story or a video, and like, or you could combine your talents and make it like into a team, sort of.
Yeah, and that's why every time I see my nieces and nephews, I say, all right, who do you want to use? What kind of story do you want to tell? I mean, hey, if somebody's got a story to tell, by all means. I mean, I would love to. I could definitely combine if somebody, you know, wants to lend their own voice. I'll do my own voices. I mean, I don't know if I'd want more than four different people in one video. That might be a little that's probably on the edge of being too much for me to like. Okay, what were you doing? I think no, you were doing that. No, wait, what kind of
like? Well, not necessarily like in front of the camera, but like also like behind the scenes, like someone doing your videography while you're making the story, or someone editing, or someone like doing branding or marketing or anything like that. Like
marketing would be amazing. Oh my goodness, yes, marketing. I mean, it's one thing, you know. How do I say this? When I started doing this, yes, it was just me. I was just doing it on my own. And doing these videos and growing this collection to what it is, which, by the way, I did not plan for this 2 years ago. I don't think anyone does. But, my brain just went blank.
Branding, marketing.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, so branding and marketing, if somebody could go out, like if I could have a poster and somebody could go out and bring that poster to like a convention or a library or just anywhere where people can see it, and then they can ask that person, you know, if I'm not able to be there, then they can ask them, you know, who is he? What is this about? What kind of figures does he have? Because obviously I've got all kinds. Real, dinosaurs, imaginary. So yeah, if I could have somebody, you know, especially once the channel takes off and I start getting paid, that way I can pay that person, you know, to go out, because I'm not getting paid right now. So, but yeah, once that happens, yeah, but at the same time, if somebody just wants to come in and volunteer that, you know, that might actually help the channel grow.
So, we were talking about like conventions and things like that. So, what does that look like practically to you? Like your vision as far as like, you know, setting up shop at a convention or at the O show, for example, or whatever. Like, what does that look like for you? Like playing with creatures or like just showing your videos?
I've often thought about that, because obviously I probably wouldn't be selling any figures, but
I mean, really, you can make a small fortune off all these.
It's true. That's not wrong. Somebody did ask me, you know, how much do you think you've spent on this entire collection?
I don't even want to know.
A couple thousand, probably, at least.
At least.
I mean, some of them I found at thrift stores, so I didn't have to pay full price. But yeah, as far as going to a convention or a library or, you know, whatever, I would definitely have like business cards pointing them to the channel, and then having a few animals on the table and letting kids play with them, and then asking them, hey, what kind of story would you create with these?
Okay.
And I mean, I would love to make something like that. That would actually be another good job, actually, if somebody was able to make like bookmarks or, you know, just little things like that I could actually sell at a place like that.
I volunteer as tribute. I could do that. So, another question I had was, let me think what it was. Okay, how's this one? How is the channel going, and what is the name of your channel? Like, what's your handle?
Creature Keeper at Narathil, Narathil 255.
That's 255.
Yes. And the 255 was because at that time I had 255 figures.
I didn't know that.
So that's where that came from.
And why is it named Narathil?
Narathil is the world that I have created. In most of my videos, if you ever hear me say, if you ever hear creature, I should say, oh, yes, I just came from the northern mountains in Narthil, or I just went to the forest where the creature keeper lives, you know, in Narthil. Narthil is the world. Okay. Think Narnia, and that's what you got. That's kind of where the name is based off of. But, yeah, so if you go to YouTube, just look up at Narthil 255, and it should come right up. The channel has exploded in the last probably couple weeks, honestly, if not month, because I've probably gone up, goodness, over 100 subscribers in the last month, and the collection has also exploded, and I'm getting a lot more viewers when I do live streams. I've been doing live streams every Monday and Friday at 7 p.m. Usually on Mondays, you know, unless something comes up on Friday. But yeah, the channel is going extremely well. Like I said, I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers. Just need about 85 more, so please subscribe. Or like this video, whichever one. So yeah, I just got over 1,100 videos. I've been doing a lot more shorts than usual, because I have been told by very reliable sources that 3 minutes seems to be what people like to watch these days. So 15 seconds to 3 minutes is usually what I try to do. And it's made it a lot easier to make videos, because the less time you take on a video, the more videos you can do throughout the day. So, yeah, can't think of anything else to say there.
So, are there any other content creators that are similar to yours, like different people that have different creators? Do you get inspiration from them for your videos?
I think I do. I mean, there are definitely others out there who are doing similar to me. I mean, I'm publishing, 5 shorts a day, and they might be doing 1 video a week. So I'm trying to get more out there, because I do want the channel, to grow. So I have taken some borrowed some ideas from different YouTube creators who do the same thing that I am. I mean, I don't know what their collections look like. I mean, I have probably 15 different companies represented in here. Which I should probably say, Schleich is the big one. They're in Germany. Safari Ltd, Mojo, Papo, Toy Many, Collecte, Zippy Tots. There's so many. So I try to appeal to everybody and collect from as many companies as I can, because certain companies will do different animals than somebody else. Like Toy Many just came out with a tamarin monkey, and as far as I know, nobody else has made that. So yeah, I feel like I just went off on a little extra.
So that brings to mind another question. So with different companies doing different things, different creatures, Do you think they're influenced at all by like where they're located in the world, or like do they just choose to? Which obviously we can't speak for them because we're not with the company. But what would you think?
I really think Schleich is definitely influenced because they are the biggest toy manufacturer in Germany. And I really think they're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, toy manufacturer in Europe. I believe Papo is in France. They're not like as big as Schleich, but they are pretty well known. I really think Safari has definitely influenced. They're based in Florida. They've been around since 1982, I believe. And they just started their own toy store, like an actual toy store, but it has not just their figures. It's got Lego, it's got Hot Wheels, it's got all these other different toy brands.
Sweet.
Toytopia, if you live in Florida, Toytopia is the name of the store. Or if you ever visit Florida. I have not been there myself. That's on my bucket list. But I think having at least one of the big companies here in America really helps spread it faster, throughout America. I know a lot of people in India, I believe the Philippines as well, really rely on companies like Schleich because they're kind of like, here's Germany, here's the rest of Europe and then Asia, and they can spread out, get their stuff out to different parts of the world. And then Schleich also has a semi-headquarters here in America. I believe it's in South Carolina. And they kind of speak for Schleich in America. Speak for Schleich in Germany. If that makes sense. And I have actually contacted Schleich and Safari several times over the last couple of years, just asking, hey, I have a great idea for this kind of figure, or because they allow that. I think that's one of the biggest resources, but the opposite of a drawback. Like
a draw.
Sure. That's one of the biggest draws from Schleich and Safari and Toy Many too, that they allow the fans, the collectors, to say, hey, I have this great idea. Okay, awesome, we'll see if we can make that happen. I asked Schleich, hey, can you make a capybara, because so many people have been asking me on YouTube, hey, do you have a capybara? Do you have one yet? I said, no, nobody's made one. Well, I contacted Schleich, and they just announced that one is coming out next year.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, and Toy Many is based in China. Mojo, I believe, is in Canada. It's either Canada or Northern Europe. Papo is in France. Schleich is in Germany. Safari's here in Florida, in America. So having these companies spread out all over the world, I think, is a big benefit to everybody. And they picked great locations too.
Pretty central.
Very central.
So going back to the inspiration thing.
Yeah.
I know you're a fan of like Narnia and Harry Potter and all these things that are pretty popular things. Do you ever like get inspiration for your videos from any of those? Like naming one of your Cyclops something. Harry Potter something.
I mean, when I first started this, I used to come up with names for different dragons, based on, were they good guys, are they bad guys, what kind of name are they going to have, what kind of voice are they going to have. And watching Narnia, especially because so many of the animals talk and are friendly and are, alive, and not just your normal run-of-the-mill animal. I mean, like I said, Narathil was definitely a kind of a callback, if you will, to Narnia. So I don't know if I've taken like any inspiration, like ideas for different stories, but knowing that those animals talk has given me the inspiration to make my figures or talk for my figures. So yeah, I don't know if I've taken any inspiration or ideas from those movies, but any kind of movie with animals or dragons, makes me wish, oh man, I wish that creature was a figure. So maybe there's inspiration there.
Yeah. Another question I have is, how do you ensure your content is accessible to a diverse audience?
Yeah. So a lot of YouTubers, and this is not meant to put anybody down, but I know a lot of them will show off their collections, which is always good, and a lot of times I'll hear them swear sometimes, and I try not to do that. I mean, I try to appeal that way to a lot of masses, try to get more kids in that way, and do funny voices, make up funny stories, use animals, because I mean, who doesn't love animals? Who doesn't love fantasy creatures like unicorns? But at the same time, I guess it really is just that, making up stories and making fun voices that kids can try to mimic, can try to relate to, and making these stories, kind of like what I said at the beginning, making these stories fun and exciting and random too, because it's me walking in here, okay, what animal do I want to use? Okay, I use those three, and I have no idea what I'm going to make until I sit down and start filming and just let it out.
And do you ever run out of ideas, or do you recycle the same ideas sometimes?
The day I run out of ideas is the day that I will no longer be on Earth. Sometimes I'll use the same semi-idea, but I'll change something over here so it's just a little bit different. Like maybe a different figure or a different voice. I know two of my nieces and I did one back in August, and then two other nieces and I last weekend, we did the exact same one, but with different figures, different voices, and they're different nieces. So a lot of times I'll do the same one just to see which one might turn out better, or which one has a better voice or better figures. Like, I like the gorilla better in this one than the llama or, you know, something like that. And, you know, a lot of times I'll ask, hey, what kind of animals do you guys like? What kind of animals do you guys want to see in here? And really bring in the kids, bring in the families, and let them participate, even though they're not here. You know, just letting them say, hey, what kind of animal do you like? What kind of animal do you want to see? What team up should I do? What kind of short should I do? What kind of voice do you think this character should have? It's really just letting the people, the fans, the world in to participate is really how I try to bring it and appeal to everybody. Because as far as I know, I'm the only one, I've actually been told by YouTubers that I'm the only one who does live videos and actually shows off the collection. So I think that's an idea for all of you out there. You know, that's a good way to bring in people.
Okay. So on that note, what would you tell people that are looking to start a channel or looking to do the same thing that you do?
Yeah. Somebody asked me that same question a few weeks ago, saying that, hey, I'm kind of trying to do the same thing, but nobody's watching my videos, or I feel like I'm not getting any subscribers or views. You know, what should I do? And I told them, on this side, you should look at your content. You know, is there things in your content that maybe people are not liking, or maybe are not appealing to them? And just look at your content, but also look at what other people are doing, and see what people, other YouTubers or Instagram users or TikTok, what they're doing, and see how successful they are. And if that's something you feel like, hey, I think I could do the same thing, they've got a good following, that's something I could do, go for it. Absolutely go for it. You know, whether it be something like this, or anything with toys, or just whatever comes to your mind, just put a video out there. Just put a video out there. And if it works, keep going. If it doesn't, try again. You know, if 10 videos down the road, something's not clicking, you know, maybe look at your content and just see what other people are doing too, and see what you could do different, or see what if you could add something or take away something. You know, it really is just putting that first video out there and seeing what happens, because that's what I had to do. That is literally, like, I mean, I knew what I was good at, you know, and I knew I loved animals, fantasy creatures, but I really wanted to just get a video out there and see what would happen. And like I said, I had over 300 views in a week, and that blew my mind. So I did several more, and I was probably over 3,000 views after that, and I just kept going with it. I mean, you're gonna get those videos that might only get 5 views, or they might not get any, or you might put another one on and it gets 2,000. That happens to me. That happens to me a lot. I think that happens to every YouTuber. Whether they've been doing it for 20 years, ever since YouTube got started, or yeah, just put your first video out there. What if you know what you like, you know what, hey, I want to show off my Hot Wheels collection, go for it. See what happens.
Yeah, I see some people on TikTok that they have like thousands and thousands of movies or books, and people always ask them, hey, do you have this one?
Right.
Or, hey, do you have that one? And they build a following off of it. But
yeah.
What about your content do you think is appealing to viewers?
Animals. Toys. Like I said, as far as I know, I'm the only one who actually, like, will sit down and talk with the viewers and show off the collection. And like I said, they're so diverse, because I've got tigers and wolves and bears from right wolves and tigers and bears, right? Lions
and tigers and bears.
Wolves and tigers and okay.
It's lions.
I had to make sure I had the tigers and the bears right. So yeah, just and bringing out the different voices, the fun voices, and really taking people on a journey. If you want to be a great storyteller, take the people with you. Take the readers, take the viewers, take the listeners with you. Make them feel, do outside videos. Make them feel like they're there with you. I asked my viewers last year, do you guys like outside videos better, or do you like inside videos better? Which one would appeal more to you? And they all said either one. So every time it's really nice out, I go outside. And I think people really love that, feeling like that wolf actually looks like it's outside. It looks real, or putting a tiger on a branch of a tree and saying, yeah, I just saw this tiger jump up, and making it look like it's actually there, I think has really appealed to people. And I want everybody to be a storyteller in their own way, because every time somebody asks me a question, hey, what did you do today? You're gonna get a story. You're gonna get a story, even if it's just okay, are you doing good or are you not doing good? Well, here's why I'm doing good. Or here's why I'm not doing good. That's just who I am. And I think that really appeals to people, is just being able to sit down in front of their phone, in front of their computer or their TV or whatever, and listen to a story, whether it be a minute long or 15 minutes long. And so many people have asked me, man, I didn't realize it was just you doing these voices, because you do the girl voice. That's actually you. So, oh yeah, it's actually me. Even though I can talk very deep. So I think that also appeals to people, is knowing that somebody who's 35 years old is having fun with toys. Hey, I don't have to be in this crazy busy life out in the world, as a 50-year-old. I can sit down and, if this 35-year-old guy can do it, why can't I?
So, in that vein, today's kids, today's generation, or younger generations, are all stuck on their phones. And you mentioned earlier that creativity is going away, imagination is going away. What would you tell those people who are, stuck on their phones or just watch social media all day, which social media is not a bad thing, but what would you tell them because you found a way to harness that energy and put it out for something?
I think I'll give you a demonstration. So I'll take this guy.
Watch out, they spit.
Yeah, it's a camel. And I'll take this tamarin here. Alright, so let's say I walked in. I didn't have my phone with me, right? And maybe I pulled out my phone. Okay, let's say I pulled out my phone. I'm like, man, I should really send this message, or I want to look through these pictures, or maybe I want to put another video on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. Walking in here every single time and seeing these, my mind immediately starts thinking, okay, what kind of story can I make with these two? And not necessarily these two, but just anything in here. And that's something that I would ask somebody who's stuck on their phone all day. Don't get me wrong. I love video games, Facebook, pictures as much as the next person. But what is that doing for you in the long run? Because this I've been doing for 2.5 years. And again, I'm on my phone a lot. But...
And we're not shaming anyone that's on their phone.
Right, yeah, I'm not shaming anybody on here. I mean, if video games is your thing, go for it.
You do you, boo.
You do you. But if you have the same question, the same longing that I do of why is imagination going away in this world, it's because we're all looking at our phones and not looking at what's around us. Not looking at what's around us. And forget walking across the street and not watching for traffic. Okay? That's important. Watch for traffic. Don't always look at your phone. But when you're just completely absorbed in your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, on your TV, whatever screen it is, and somebody may ask you a question, and you're so completely absorbed. Oh, sorry, what? Sorry, I was trying to kill this ogre or whatever it was. Well, now that question's probably not even important anymore. We're missing out. We're missing out on life. Now, that's not to say that, because I'm putting these videos out there, what's the only way to watch these videos? Your phone, your computer, social media. You have to be on your device to watch me. So I get that. And I'm not putting these on here just to say, well, I'm putting these videos on here just so your kids can watch TV for the next 5 hours. But another question I have is, what are you guys watching? What are you guys playing? And again, I love video games, not just the next person. I've killed many an ogre, many an orc on video games before. But there's content out there that kids should probably not be watching. And that's why I'm doing this. You know, if you want your kids to watch something for 2 hours, that's where I come in. That's where I want to come in. And when they're done, my hope is that they will look at their own stuffed animals or Hot Wheels or Legos or whatever and say, huh, you know, that's a really cool idea. I could do something like he just did with my stuff. And it's not worldly, right? That's the main ticket, is that I'm just trying to bring fun with animals and creatures and fun voices and make you laugh, instead of, hey kids, let's watch this very violent PG-13 R-rated stuff. So that's where I come in. And again, I don't cuss, I don't swear. I mean, I may say darn, but who doesn't? Well, yeah. So, that is the long, short answer.
Okay. Kind of a different question. What is one of your strengths in relation to the channel, and what is one of your weaknesses?
Goodness.
I would say strengths would be maybe your voice talents.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Your creativity.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably number one, is my voice and my creativity, and just being able to walk in here and saying, hey, I think I'm going to use that pig, or I'm going to use that squid and this camel, and I'm just going to make something up. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'll just sit down and boom, something comes out. I think another strength is I have learned more about animals and even fantasy creatures doing this than I've ever learned in my life. Like, you guys have heard me say it before, but I'm going to say it again. The blue-footed booby. I had no idea that was a bird or a real animal until I saw the figure on Safari's website. And I had to know more. I had to know more about that. So I have become very aware of the animals that are out in the world because of this. So I think that's a strength. A weakness? Spending so much money on all of these. And I think, I don't know if you could call this a weakness, but something that I'm finding. There's a spot right there on that shelf. There's also a spot right here on this table. That's it. Yeah, there's a few spots here, you know, here and there, but I'm running out of room. So, not being able to house all the figures that I want. I mean, and so many people have asked me, man, you must have every figure in the world that's ever been made. No. There's probably tens of thousands that I don't have. Tens of thousands. Because Schleik's been around for 90 years, Safari's been around for 40 years, and I didn't even know about Schleik growing up in the 90s. I didn't even know about Safari growing up in the 90s. So I missed out on a lot of those. But I think that's... I'm trying to think of like an actual weakness. I know there is one, and I'm not saying this like Oh yeah, I'm the best. I have no weaknesses. I'm the strongest.
We can come back to that.
Yeah.
What is something you appreciate about your viewers?
Just how loyal. I think just how loyal they've been. And how excited they get every single time I'm on doing a live video, or you know, if I make a random team up on a short. One of my viewers, Isabella, shout out. She is on every.
Hey,
Isabella. She's on every single video. Like, I think she's only missed 2 live streams since April, and I'm on twice a week. So I think viewers like that, like her, you know, like Wheels or Relaxing Music.
Shout out.
You know, you guys have been there and are always so excited. You're always coming up with ideas for games. You're coming up with, you know, you guys are always like, hey, I want to see this figure. I want to see this figure. Hey, do you have this one? Do you think you'll ever get this one? You know, but you guys have also been very encouraging, too, because so many of you have asked me, hey, why aren't you in Hollywood? I don't know if you know how much encouragement that gives me, because I can do so many voices, but I have not been discovered yet. And yes, my channel is very small. But I'll tell you, for the first time, I think it was, today's Saturday, 3 days ago, Schleich actually commented on something.
Wow.
That was a first. That was a first.
Cool.
Schleich actually commented and said, this collection, and they only saw a very tiny portion of it. They said, this collection is absolutely incredible. I've got nothing. Speechless.
Wow.
But, I mean, if Schleich came to me and said, hey, you have an amazing voice talent, can you do a video for us? I'd be over the moon. Like, I would be absolutely overjoyed by that. But, what was your question? I totally forgot.
Good question. Oh, something you appreciate about your videos.
Oh, yes. The obvious, you know, just when you guys ask questions like that, you know, why aren't you in Hollywood? Why aren't you, why don't you have more views? You know, why don't you have more subscribers? You are so underrated. Just statements, questions like that. I think I really appreciate, because this is only coming from like 10 of viewers right now. But I think that has really given me the confidence to keep going. So, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing I appreciate about you guys is how much confidence you give me to keep going. So, and you have told me many times, please don't stop. Hey, I'm going to keep doing this till I'm 70. Or till I'm 100 if I make it that long. I hope I make it to 100. That would be amazing.
So, do you ever think about the brand you're creating, or about the legacy of it, and why is it so important to you?
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Oh, all the time. You know, I look at, especially Schleich, since they've been around for 90. That's a 9 and a 0. 90 years. Yeah, I look at companies like Mattel, who makes Barbie and G.I. Joe. Well, not G.I. Joe. That's Hasbro. Oh. But Hot Wheels and Matchbox. And how those guys have still been able to keep going. And a lot of times, yes, they've only been able to keep going because real cars keep getting made so they can keep making the toy versions. But they're able to come up with all these different crazy formations of a car that is not real. And it just amazes me that a company can do that. That can keep coming up with idea after idea after idea. That's so different. But at the same time, Schleich, Safari, a lot of times they've only been able to come out with these real animal figures because I don't know if you realize how many animal figures, real animals there are in this world.
Billions,
trillions that they can make toy versions of. That's pretty incredible. I mean, you look at somebody like this. I don't know of many companies, and that's not to say that they couldn't, but I don't know of many companies that have come out with something like that. You know, a hyena that's on fire. I mean, who comes up with these things? Oh yeah, Schleich, that too. And you know, Schleich, when they first started, they were just doing horses, and then over time, the Smurfs came out and they started doing Smurf figures. And they still do. They still make Smurfs every now and then. But I think once Schleich really started taking off in Germany and then really started taking off in Europe, and more people were like, hey, can you make this animal? Can you make this animal? It was just like Hot Wheels, right? How did Hot Wheels get started? They got started because I cannot think of the guy's name that created Mattel right now. But when he first saw a hot rod, he was sitting at a stoplight and he saw this beautiful hot rod pull up alongside him. He looked at that and said, why can't I make that? And then he saw these other hot rods and he said, why can't I do that? Why can't, that would be so cool for a kid to play with. And that's how that got started. So I look at all of these figures and I mean, I can't even imagine how much time it took to create, the big ones, like the giants, how much time it takes to come up with that idea, and then the paint, the mold, all of that. I can't even imagine. But, something tiny like a piglet, that's easy, right? It's a piglet. Just look at a picture of a pig. Okay, we got to make it just like that. And you could make thousands of those pretty easily. But just how real and how very close to detail every single figure that, especially the real animals, are, amazes me. Like, I was showing, I had taken a picture of my Raven figure outside, and I showed it to my brother-in-law's mom, and she said, oh, that's really cool. When did you get a pet Raven? I said, oh, last year. She's like, you've had a Raven? I didn't know you could have a Raven as a pet. I said, yeah, that's why he's plastic. She's like, oh my goodness, I thought... So, there you go. I mean, for how real they make these things look, I mean, if I lined up all of my elephants in a row and made them look like they're marching through a jungle like on Jungle Book, I'd be convinced. I'd be convinced. So, yeah, that's the legacy I look at, is just how real. Because I don't know what the original figures looked like, 90 years ago or 40 years ago. But, over time, things get better, you get better materials, you get better paint, you get all that. So. Okay. And 90 years, come on, 90. that's 10 away from 100.
So, like, I think you were looking at the practicality of it and, like, the physicality of their brand. But, like, as far as legacy, like you mentioned earlier that you want to keep creativity and imagination in the world. Right. So, like, do you want to grow your brand bigger than just video creatures or creature videos? Like, do you want it to be about something more than that?
I mean, I want to keep doing creature videos for as long as I can. Mm-hmm. But at the same time...
Because you did mention voice acting, too.
Yeah. I mean... This probably would never happen, but it would be super cool to bring some of these figures to a movie set and say, hey, can we make a movie with all these and I'll do the voices? Mm. Yeah. We were watching, what was it? The movie If with Ryan Reynolds. If stands for Imaginary Friend. And it was different, but it was actually really good. And one of the scenes, the main girl walks into a hospital, and the boy that she had been talking to wasn't in his room at the moment. And she saw that there was something under his blanket. She moved it. She moved the blanket. And this guy was underneath. That was the first time I'd ever seen a Schleich figure in a movie. Like, any of the figures that I have in here, I'd never seen them in a movie before.
Seriously? That thing was under...
This thing was under the bed. Or under the blanket. So... they can be in a movie, for sure. I mean, I would love to... I've often imagined how cool it would be to be the only voice actor for an entire movie, just doing every single voice for every character. Getting the first Academy Award for the only actor in the entire film. Main character, villain, damsel in distress. But one dream that I have is I would love to be that old white-bearded guy who lives in a giant house, and kids come up to his house and say, hey, can we play with your toys? Hey, can you tell us a story? And I don't even have to use these, to tell a story. A story can come from anything. Great storytellers, they can be hard to come by, but a story can come from anything. I mean, I could make up a story with my hands right now, and that's it. I mean, I would also love to be I don't know if they're the screenwriters of movies, but I would love to be somebody in Hollywood who comes up with an idea. And I don't necessarily have to be a director. I don't have to be a producer or really have anything to do with the movie. Just, hey, here's an idea. And I want to use a stone dragon, I want to use a tiger, I want to use a camel, and I want to use a snow leopard. Let's make a movie out of those. I love coming up with ideas. Like I said earlier, I think the only way I'm going to not have an idea is if I'm not alive. That's the only time I'm going to run out of ideas. But I want to leave everybody with a legacy, too, of he came up with so many cool ideas for stories. I want to do the same thing. I want to follow in that. I want to be him. So that's another dream. And I would love to go to like a school and bring a whole bunch of figures with me and tell a story to a whole bunch of kids. You know, because that's who this is for. If I have not said that already, this channel is for the kids or anybody who wants to remain a kid.
Like Peter Pan.
Like Peter Pan, yeah. You don't have to grow up, even though the world tells you you should. I have refused. I put my foot down. And every other part of me. I will never grow up. So, and when I have kids, I want to teach them the same thing. I want to teach them the same thing. That they don't have to grow up. So, I mean, I would love to be a animal teacher too. You know, bring a few actual real animal figures and teach kids, hey, what do you know about gorillas? What do you know about salamanders that live way deep underwater and glow in the dark and they're blind? That's an axolotl, right? Those are axolotls. Or what do you know about sea turtles? Yes, okay, if you've watched Finding Nemo, you know everything about sea turtles. Okay, got it. Or what do you want to know about unicorns? They're not real. But did you know that a unicorn can heal?
Unicorn tears or something.
It's in their horns. Phoenix tears. Phoenix tears. You know, or what do you want to know about hydras? 5 heads. If you cut off 1 head, 3 more could take its place. That's what I would love to be a teacher in that. And or just go around and tell stories to kids. Now, I've said that already, but I think that's the big thing I want to do is just go around to a school, go to a convention, go to I don't know, anywhere where they say, hey, can you tell us a story? Yeah, which figures do you want me to use? Because I'll use any of them. Oh, can you bring all your Yetis? Yeah, I got 4 of them. So, there you go. That's me.
Okay. Another question. How do you handle writer's block or creative fatigue?
Jeez. Writer's block. You know, one of the most amazing things that I have learned in doing this is that when you do improv, okay, improv is just going out there with a camel and a tamarin, having no idea what you're going to do, sitting down in the grass and just say the first few lines, and boom, 5 minutes later you got a story of some kind. Whether it makes sense or not is up to you. But hey, if it doesn't make sense, it's going to make people laugh. And I have actually learned that by doing it this way, I really don't have writer's block. That's actually helped me a lot in just using my imagination. And just so everybody knows, I've never written anything down. Ever. I've never edited. I've never written any idea down, because immediately when I have that idea, I'll go out. I go out, I pick the animals, and I just do it. Because I don't have the focus to okay, I have this idea, I'm going to write down a whole script, and this is how long it's going to take. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go outside and do it. And the more I think about, like, if I have an idea late at night, and I'm just about to fall asleep, and I'm like, oh man, I have this really cool idea that I should do in the morning. Just keep thinking about it. Just keep thinking about it. Etch it in your memory so that when you wake up, the first thing you think of is, oh yeah, I was gonna do this particular thing. Now there are times, granted, there have been a couple times that I will wake up in the morning like, alright, time to get the day started, you know. I'll go eat breakfast, I'll do a couple other things, and I'm like, wait a second, wasn't I going to do something? Oh man, there was this video. Yeah, there was a video. And then I'll come up here, I'll look around. Okay, what were the figures I was going to use? Oh yeah, I think it was the saber-toothed tiger. That's right, there was a crocodile, there was an elephant. Okay, those are the figures. And then it all starts coming back. The more that I remember, you know, which figures I was going to use, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I picked them, was for this. There has been an idea that I did have that was just gone, you know, that I could not remember and probably still haven't been able to remember. But in a way, I've just kind of pushed that aside and just kept going. You know, just kept doing other videos, and hey, if I remember in the future, boom, there you go. But I asked an author, you know, an actual book author, years ago. I said, man, I really wish I had done this in this particular story. I really wish I had been able to put this character or this idea. And now I have writer's block, and now I don't know where to... And he said, you have an idea that you wish you could use for the original? Just put it in the next one. Just put it in the next one. And if it works, then it works. And if it doesn't, well, maybe if you come up with a third story, put it in that one. Just keep going. And that's what I've told myself, is just keep coming up with ideas. You know, even if there's like this really, really cool one. And again, the more I think about it, the more it's engraved up here. Because there are videos I want to do with my nieces that I've been thinking about for a week. I have not forgotten them because I keep talking to myself. I keep asking myself, okay, what do I want to do? Which characters do I want to use? Which ones should I bring? What questions do I want to ask them? I keep memorizing that and keep talking to myself so that I remember. So I think that's one big way that I have I wouldn't say conquered, but combated writer's block, is just continuously talking to myself as if I'm interviewing myself. And what do I want to do? What was that idea? Don't forget it.
Okay. How do you approach creating content for different platforms? I know you just use YouTube.
Oh,
would you consider using other platforms?
I thought you said popcorn.
I mean, popcorn does sound good. Like, would you consider using TikTok or Instagram or Facebook?
I've put things on Instagram. It's weird because
it is weird.
I'll put things on Facebook, and I either get 1 like or I get 0. I'll put stuff on Instagram and I might get 4 likes and maybe 1 comment. I'll put things on YouTube and I get 1,000 views and maybe 10 comments and a whole bunch of likes. So
you've noticed a trend.
I've really noticed a trend. Yeah. YouTube has really
come through for you.
Come through. I mean, hey, when I get bigger, maybe Facebook, Instagram will notice me. But sometimes I feel like I put things on YouTube on Facebook, and some people are like, oh, great, he's putting another thing on. Yeah, it's not like I don't know about that. I post something on YouTube, they're like, oh, great, he's got another thing. Okay, cool, this is gonna be great. I can't wait for the next one.
Okay.
So, y'all, I'm on Facebook here, trying to appeal to y'all, okay? So go watch YouTube, through the link, all that good stuff.
Okay. What new strategies could you implement into your brand to grow it?
Oof.
Something you haven't tried before.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about those bookmarks earlier.
Yeah.
Or you could go to a show or something.
Yeah,
and or put your name out there more, like we're doing right now.
Right. One thing that I've really noticed, especially here in Nebraska, it's annoying because I would love to go to a school, right? I would love to go to a convention. But a lot of those places, especially a convention, the tables that you have to buy are very expensive. And I'm not going to be able to sell enough bookmarks to cover that fee and more. Unless people really like bookmarks, and I can make 1,000 of them. But one thing that, if I could make a poster and hang it up at a show or a school, or even put something on like a bulletin board, at a church or at a school or anywhere that has one that has kids, and I'm not married, so I think one thing that's really hard, especially since I want to do this with kids in today's age, if I had done this in the 90s, it would be so much easier for me to go to a school and say, hey, can I hang out with these kids and, alone and play with toys. But nowadays, that would be really hard to do. So, and obviously I don't want to be weird. So I think it goes back to one of the questions of, would I hire or would I have somebody come work with me, even if I'm not paying them, and just kind of help out, facilitate, no. Yep. I can't think of it. But just to be there, so I'm not the only one.
An apprentice?
Kind of officiate. Affiliate, thank you. I could not say that correctly. And officiate, what's going on, so I'm not the only one having to try to carouse 20 kids or however many there are. But just, I think that's one thing I would love to do, is go to a school, see if they have a bulletin board. Hey, can I put my flyer or a poster or a not a business card but a hobby card on the bulletin board so that people can see it, you know, with all my information. Or make a giant poster. And I have my binder that has all of my animal, all these creatures are all numbered, they're all in there. Except for the very newest ones that I just got today. Haven't put them in there yet. But just having things with me. You know, I'm such a kid. I take an animal with me wherever I go. So that if somebody sees it, they're like, hey, why do you have a shark? Why do you have a gorilla? And then I can tell them. Well, I'm trying to keep my imagination going for my YouTube channel. That opens a whole set of doors for them to ask.
Oh, you have a YouTube channel?
You have a YouTube channel? Oh, what's that about? So, boom. So that's one strategy I've really tried to bring out. And I also made shirts. Mm-hmm. I have 2 shirts. So if you ever see a shirt that says Creature Keeper, it's me.
I need a shirt.
You do need to get a shirt. I should make one. Get one for you for Christmas. Mm-hmm.
I wear XXL.
Fine, I'll make it pink.
Pink with black lettering.
Pink with black lettering. Or black with pink lettering.
So, another question I had was, would you ever, I know you do the lives, but like, you know, on like Instagram, for example, they have things like polls and quizzes. Yeah. You could run like a poll and say, hey, do you want to see this creature today, or do you want to see this creature?
I've done that quite a few times, actually.
Have you ever done like a Q&A session with your viewers? Like, instead of showing out the creatures, you can do a Q&A session.
Yeah. That might be what the next live video, or what the next few on down the road are going to be, is just a Q&A. A live Q&A, not just, hey, let me show you some figures and let's talk about collecting. No, you guys have questions, you know, ask me anything. Now just don't ask me what my social security number is. Or anything crazy like that. Are you single? Yes, I'm single. Would you marry me?
Okay.
Don't ask me questions.
Away from those questions. So now let's get into the fun stuff. What is your favorite creature you have?
Okay. I was waiting for that. I feel like I've been sitting for...
You have.
Where else have I?
Oh, bye.
I've been sitting for an entire... I've been falling
for 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes. If anybody knows what that's from, we're best friends. Okay, this tiger.
Why is that your favorite and not like a wolf or a dragon?
I grew up playing with 2 white tiger cubs. I still have them. Had them since I was 3.
Obviously not real ones.
But this particular tiger has always seemed like the most real. Like, every time I look at it, I'm like, that looks like a tiger. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that none of the other ones look real, just this one, the pose, the colors, the stripes, the face, you know, I don't know, it's just been the most striking to me out of every figure in here. And it should, because I have 8 of them. But I also, there's orange ones and then there's white ones, and these are from Schleich. These are Schleich tigers. And again, Schleich's been around for 90 years, so they know how to make things. But yeah, this is probably my most favorite figure that I have. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh yeah, I totally knew that. He always talks about tigers. Well, there's a reason for that. I've got like 40. I've got 40 tigers. And I just actually, just got these ones today from Toy Many. They're in China. They're actually an American company. I just got these ones today. So that's my favorite real animal figure. Was there another question? Okay, I forgot. What's my favorite? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably my most favorite. My most favorite animal is a wolf. My second favorite is actually a tiger. Mm. And I grew up playing with 2 white tiger cubs my entire life, and I still have them. So I grew up around tigers most of my life. Mm. So, since I was 3. It's been 30 years.
Well, Creature Keeper, thank you for all the answering questions. Thank you for being on here today. Kids, we hope that you, and adults alike, we hope that you gleaned some information from this and figured out, why keeping creativity and imagination is so important. Eddie, if you want to do a tour of your creatures, or if you want to just point out a few.
She just said my real name.
Sorry.
That's all good. Yeah, for all those who have wondered, yes, my name is Eddie.
Didn't even think about it.
It's all good. I just won't tell you my last name because, Mm-hmm. I mean, I've already told you I live in Nebraska, so why not? Yeah. Let's do a litter. Let's do a litter. A litter tool.
Literal tour.
A literal tour. Quite literally. Alright, we'll put these guys back so I don't trip them. Mm-hmm. Because that would be embarrassing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera. Okay. So, starting over here. A lot of you have seen these, but these are Harry Potter, How to Train Your Dragon, and a lot of these are from the cartoon of How to Train Your Dragon. Go watch the new one, the live action. It is amazing. Buffalo bison, my tiny animals. Alright, over here we've got our sea life. And also monkeys.
How many creatures do you have altogether?
940. And yes, I am not done. That's probably another reason that I'll be done is when I'm not alive anymore. But what I'm hoping is that my nieces and nephews continue this. Just realized I think my camera has been sideways the whole time. There we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of different strange type of whales out there. That's the bowhead. That's the right whale. Why is it called the right whale? Well, some fishermen saw the whale over 100 years ago and they said, oh, hey, that's the right one. Nothing too special there. So, there you go, a little play on words. Snow leopards. All of my Eldrador, ice, lava. And then camels and zebras and antlers and fennec foxes and all that good stuff. More ice creatures of Eldrador. This one, that one right there in the back is probably my favorite. He looks like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Made of ice. world. Here we've got all the dogs. It's like 40 dogs up here. And hippos. So if you like dogs, and you want to make a story with dogs, you'll know where to come. Snakes, spiders, scorpions, stone creatures of Eldrador, jungle, somebody's got the hiccups again, and it's not me. Some tigers. These are all the new 6 new tigers that I got today. Dragons and phoenixes and hydras and all the other good stuff. Farm animals. Cryptids, yetis, werewolves, Bigfoot, Jersey Devil, Mothman. A couple other dragons, Cerberus, and a gargoyle, lions, and again there are 15 companies represented in here. More dragons. Big cats, jaguars, leopards, cheetahs, caracals, lynx, black panthers, more leopards. And more dragons. There's over 80 dragons in here. Alright, over here we've got giraffes, some elephants. I say some because there's even more up here. Plus the biggest figure that I have. Not the most expensive, mind you. All these guys up here, woodland animals. We have some more dragons, some more Greek creatures, griffin, and the griffin is one of the oldest ones that I have. Another dragon, frogs. Fogs. Cats, raccoons. There's some foxes, weasels, turtles, tortoises. A couple other dragons, and the only 4 knights that I have, because I unfortunately missed out on those. Those came out a long time ago. The Bayala fairy tale creatures. And then more dragons. The ghost. That ghost actually does glow in the dark.
I love how I have creatures and then a random ghost.
Is the only place you fit. Let's see, we got a whole bunch of buds. Freddy inside will burn buds. No, we will not be burning buds today. That's from Around the World in 80 Days with Jackie Chan. Alright, we got our reptiles, lizards, crocodiles, alligators, caiman. And caiman are actually bigger than crocodiles. They're bigger than alligators. They're one of the biggest reptiles in the world. Besides Komodo dragons, which are humongous. Chinese dragons, saber-toothed tigers. Over here, there we go, is all of my, got Arctic foxes, wolf dragon, and all of the unicorns and fairies are here. All different colors, and there's a whole bunch more coming out from Schleich next year. They just released the pictures of so many unicorns. And over here we have the bears. Black bears, grizzly bears, polar bears, panda bears, the Kermode bear, which is called the spirit bear up north. And that is from Safari. It's kind of a cross between a brown bear and a polar bear. Alright.
Bro bear.
A bro bear. And down here we have all the tigers and all of my wolves. My two favorite animals together. The oldest figures that I have are these two white wolves. They came out in 1990. I actually did not see them until like 2007. It's just at a toy store, and they were the last ones. And I haven't seen any others since. So, I think I got them at the right time. Alright, over here we have dinosaurs. Yes. Lots and lots of big dinosaurs. The biggest figure that I know of that has ever been made is almost 2 feet long. I don't have that one, for obvious reasons, because I don't have room for it right now. But is a Diplodocus dinosaur from Safari. My T-Rexes. Even more dragons. And a Mosasaurus. And for the final ones. Okay. There we go. These dragons. And horses. And the last ones are the shadow creatures of Eldrador. Some of my most favorite fantasy figures are right here.
I'll let you do the outro.
So, that is everything. I hope that this video has been very meaningful to you. There we go. I'd just like to thank Bree by the Sea, for interviewing. And I hope that this has been a great tour for all of you and a great interview, and I hope that you guys let all your friends know. Let all your friends know I am here. The creatures are here. I'm still collecting. Who knows? Christmas is coming up, so. But I just hope you guys have a great weekend, a great week, and I'll be live Monday evening at 7 p.m. Central. Not Pacific, not Mountain, though I wish it was Mountain. Yeah, whatever you guys do, as I always say, whatever you guys do for fun, Hot Wheels, Preachers, Legos, whatever. Just have fun out there. Bye.